as your favorite YouTubers to share their #1 RV boondocking essential. You know, the one thing that they wouldn't want to go boondocking without, so we can learn from them and boondock like pros, just like them. Hi, I'm Randi, and I help you make big memories in small campers because weekends are just too short. RV boondocking, also known as dry camping, is easier when you have the right essentials. I'm so grateful to my 10 YouTube friends. They share everything from hygiene to bathroom options to power and water and so much more. And I also share my #1 boondocking essential. And you're gonna want to stay till the end to see the most innovative RV boondocking item I've ever seen. First up is John and Mercedes from the RV Odd Couple. They recently free camped their way from California to Florida by staying at rest stops.
Thank you, Randi, so much for inviting us to participate in your video. We are so excited to share our essential for boondocking.
We're John and Mercedes of the RV Odd Couple.
And we couldn't limit our essentials to just one, so we have two. Now, the first thing that we're going to share is probably not what you're expecting. You're expecting us to say generators or share a specific app or something like that. No. Our essential for boondocking is baby wipes. Yep. Because you need to think about hygiene and you don't want to fill up your tanks. So baby wipes are fantastic, but we made a very painful mistake and we bought alcohol wipes.
You guys know how much these can hurt on certain parts of your body, especially when you haven't showered for 5 days and you're suffering from hemorrhoids.
Don't use those on your nether regions. Use the baby wipes.
You definitely want to use baby wipes. They're a lot gentler on the skin, and they don't hurt like alcohol wipes do.
Yeah, and also make sure that you change your clothes daily. Even if you aren't able to shower, a fresh pair of clothes is going to make you feel very nice and refreshed.
The other great tip that we're going to give you is you're going to want to go old school and get a map.
The reason I love my map when it comes to finding rest areas is because rest areas are typically in the middle of nowhere, right? They're not going to be in the big cities where the excellent cell service is.
Right.
So by having a paper map, if my service is kind of shoddy, at least I have an approximate based on the mile marker and based on what's on the map of where I'm going to get to rest.
You're going to find typically the nicest rest stops in any state are right at the border of that state. They go out of their way to show off the state. Typically, they're information centers.
Welcome center, information center. Now, the only downside is the map won't say, hey, this one has a dump station, this one doesn't. It's not that specific.
Right.
So if you want to get that really specific information, you have to do a little bit more research.
So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to the Department of Transportation in the state that you're traveling in.
And the Department of Transportation website is going to give you the updates, the latest infos on any closures, on any issues with the rest stop. You're going to find some states are really RV friendly and have a dump station at every rest area. Other states, not so much. So it's really important that you do your research ahead of time when it comes to looking for dump stations.
So thanks again, Randi, for inviting us to participate. We love you and we wish you all the best.
Great tips, John and Mercedes. Sometimes it's the simple things that can make RV boondocking life easier. If you want to learn more about how they found the best rest stops and manage their utilities, I'll leave a link to a full video of theirs in the video description below. Next, we're going to talk about power, starting with Mike from RV Lifestyle.
Hey, Randi. Mike Wendland here from RVLifestyle.com and the RV Lifestyle YouTube channel. So you ask, what is our favorite boondocking must-haves? And we have two of them. But first I have to say that Jennifer and I, that's our preferred way of camping, boondocking. That is how we spend as much time as we can in the RV. And that's either on BLM land or on state forest dispersed camping or federal forest dispersed camping. That is our favorite style. So we have no plug-ins. We are out there off the grid, living off of our batteries. That's the first must-have gear. We have two 100 amp hour lithium batteries. And we've been using lithium in RVs for about 5 or 6 years now. The system we have now, we had in our previous RV, and it's those two 100 amp hour lithiums that are being charged during the daytime by 400 watts of solar power up on the roof of our RV. Now that's the sweet spot for us. A lot of people say you got to have more than that. It works really great for us, and we're in a small Class C RV. Those lithium batteries, we'll use those all during the day, and we'll use them at night. We'll charge all of our camera gear, my video gear. We can watch TV. We can run the microwave. All of that, all of the coach power is, when we're off the grid, boondocking, is run through those two 100 amp lithium batteries. In the morning, we still have lots of juice left, but that's when the solar kicks in. And during the day, we have seen this year after year, trip after trip. During the day, the 400 watts of solar tops off those lithium batteries. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to do anything. That is our must-have gear. The 400 watts of solar, the two 100 amp lithium batteries. Now, you could get bigger systems than that, but that's worked for us now in the last 2 RVs we've had. If you're going to boondock, you want lithium batteries. They last longer, they're more efficient, they weigh less, they charge faster, they discharge fuller. They are the gold standard when it comes to RV living and when it comes to boondocking. So there you go, Randy. I hope that helps.
Terrific advice, Mike, for boondockers needing a new battery or looking for a battery upgrade. Mike has a full video showing how he installed his lithium batteries and a battery monitor. I'll also leave a link to that video in the video description below. Next, I share my #1 power source that I use when I'm boondocking. And my #1 essential boondocking item is my portable power station, the Jackery 1000. Look at all the ports it has. It has a 12-volt port, 4 USB ports, and 3 AC ports. This means you can charge a lot of things at one time. My RV battery doesn't power my outlets. So when I'm boondocking, I use my Jackery to keep all of my devices charged. It also has an optional solar panel for recharging, and this is a great way to keep powered up for longer boondocking adventures. I have a video about my Jackery 1000, and I'll leave a link to that. We're just getting started, but I'm sure that you have a favorite RV boondocking item, and we want to know about it so that we can keep learning together. Please share it with us in the comments section below. Next, Brian from RV with Tito's shares an RV upgrade that'll make boondocking life more comfortable.
Now, what would top the list this year as our #1 boondocking item that we wouldn't want to go boondocking without would have to be something we added recently to the RV, a recent upgrade, and that's our Webasto Airtop 2000 heater. Now, keeping the RV warm, especially during the nighttime, has really been something that's been a challenge through the years. And if you're that person that has to get up, to be the first to get up to turn on the heater because it's just so cold that you don't want to get out of bed, that person's been me. Well, this is something that has solved that problem for us because this Webasto heater runs off of our gasoline tank and also draws a little bit of battery power. It's super efficient, and I love the fact that we can just keep it running all the time. And I keep the thermostat, that it comes with a little thermostat. I keep it set to like 65 degrees through the night and about 68 to 70 degrees during the day, and it maintains that even temperature throughout that time. So it has certainly made a huge difference in our boondocking experience and made it much more comfortable. So I'd give that the #1 spot on our list.
The heater sounds like a fantastic way to stay warm when boondocking, Brian. Brian has a full video about the Webasto heater, and when I watched it, I learned that because it doesn't use propane but rather uses gasoline, it doesn't produce humidity. If you want to learn more about this heater and how Brian installed it, I'll leave a link to that video. Let's see what Brian and Shauna from Lyf Uninterrupted can't live without while RV boondocking.
Hi Randy, it's Brian and Shauna from Lyf Uninterrupted, and we just want to thank you real quick for inviting us to share our essential boondocking item, something that we wouldn't consider boondocking without. Some others might. There are different variants of our particular item, but we think that ours is the best. So one thing that we always make sure that we have plenty of when we're boondocking, and that's fresh water. Early on in our RVing lives, we used to use the big 6-gallon jerry cans like a lot of people use. We went away from that and went to a 35-gallon water bladder.
The water bladder definitely is better than a jerry can because it's so compact. It folds up, it takes up very little space when you're not using it. Lays flat in our Jeep when it's filled, again, so it doesn't take up much space. What would you say that bladder weighs when there's no water in it?
Maybe
Empty.
a pound or so.
Okay, there you go. And it folds up to maybe like a 12 by 12 square.
Right.
And so that's the essential item that we wouldn't boondock without.
What a practical RV essential item, Brian and Shauna. 35 extra gallons of fresh water will definitely help you while boondocking and allow you to stay out longer. Brian and Shauna have a video playlist that's packed with more boondocking tips and tricks. And this link will be... Next, let's hear from Norm and Kim from Mountain Beaches and how they power their much larger fifth wheel for boondocking.
Hi, I'm Kim and this is Norm, and our YouTube channel is Mountain Beaches, and we are so happy today to be able to help Randi out with her video regarding boondocking.
Yes, we're really excited to be here, and to us, the obstacles to boondocking are threefold. One, it's your water supply, your fresh water. Two is your gray tank and your black tank and holding tanks and how much that can hold, so it depends on how long you can stay out. But the third one is power, and that's what we wanted to talk about today, is our solar setup and why we did solar and what it does for us.
And we love our solar.
We do. We absolutely love our solar setup. First, let me kind of tell you what we have. We have 1,200 watts of solar up on our roof, 6 panels, 200 watts per panel. We also have 6 100 amp hour batteries, so that's a total of 600 amp hours of lithium batteries. We have a 3,000 watt inverter and a solar charge controller that combines the system all together.
And Norm set all of this up, and he's the one who takes charge of it, makes sure that it's all running correctly, watches all the levels, and I am just get to be the person who enjoys all of the things that he's done.
Right. So we really got this set up because we're still working, and we needed an office setup, and our computers needed power, our monitors needed power, and we just needed to be off grid on our own, and we just don't like the idea of generators. Generators could have solved a lot of the problems for us, but that kind of...
They're noisy.
Yeah, they're noisy, and that kind of defeats the purpose of us loving and being out in nature. It's just been awesome for us. Kim likes the byproducts of it.
So many byproducts that make you feel, just have a few more of the comforts of home. That make it a lot easier for me to be boondocking. So I love that I can use my hair dryer. That's huge.
That and her coffee maker.
I'm able to use the microwave. It's been fantastic.
Right. We've been out in the desert camping for about a week now. We have new solar generation every single day. It's been awesome. We've had no need for a generator. We do have a portable small generator for those times when the sun's just not going to cooperate. For us, our number one top add-on to our RV to enable boondocking has been our solar setup.
Thanks, Randi.
Who says you can't have all the comforts of home when RV boondocking? Great solar setup, Norm and Kim. If you want to learn more about Norm's do-it-yourself solar system, I'll leave a link to that video. Well, you probably know where. Scott from This Nomadic Idea shares an RV boondocking essential that helps you stay connected.
Well, hey Randi, thank you so much for letting us do a video on your channel about the best nomadic gear for boondockers. My name is Scott from This Nomadic Idea. And internet data, internet signal, when you're out boondocking where we are in remote locations, you're gonna want the best data possible. And I'm gonna show you what you can use to boost your internet signal at a very, very low cost. So let's face it, internet signal and data is almost everything in this digital nomad world that we live in today. And Ariane and I use the old Verizon hotspot data plan that they no longer sell, but you truly have unlimited data. So we pay about $65 a month for true unlimited data for a hotspot. The problem is it's only as good as the signal strength that it's going to get from a cell tower. Those plans sometimes don't even have data priority. They don't have cell priority. So how do you boost your signal when that is the only thing that you're using, and how to get the best out of that MoFi device? Now, most people buy a cell booster. Now, most of these cell boosters that you're gonna buy in the marketplace, they come with an antenna. That antenna you're gonna have to mount on top of your RV or tow vehicle, and or both. Depending on which one you get makes a huge difference. So I'm gonna show you what we use to get a better signal, because in the end, your antenna may not be the best product that comes with your cell booster. So we use a directional antenna. A directional antenna is a line of sight or a signal that points right to the tower that you're connecting to, and it brings that data signal right into that antenna. So there's a huge difference between directional and omnidirectional. We use a directional. Now the question is, how do you know what tower there is, and how do you find that tower to point a directional antenna to it? Well, we use an app called OpenSignal. OpenSignal looks at your carrier, you can identify your carrier, and it will tell you where the tower is. In fact, it's got an arrow that points right to the antenna or to the cell tower that you're looking to find. You just point your directional antenna to where it tells you to point it, and boom. We rock on download and rock on upload on non-peak hours. So these WeBoost Cell Booster 4G antennas can be bought almost anywhere. You can buy them on Amazon, you can buy them directly from WeBoost itself, you can even buy them here in Quartzsite, Arizona. They sell from anywhere from $45 to $75. They do come with a cable. They do also require an adapter that you're going to have to plug in depending on what WeBoost product you have. But they are 4G directional antennas. They're not omnidirectional, and if you want a better signal, you want to point your antenna directly to that cell tower. It has helped us quite a bit. We love it. We could not be boondocking without it. The trick into that is to put it on some sort of flexible pole, whether it's even a conduit pole, PVC pipe. In our case, we put it on a retractable telescope pole that we can retract down and hoist up to maximize our signal, and it does work. Thank you guys so much. Randy, thank you so much for letting us talk about our nomad secrets, our boondocking secrets, and the best boondocking products that we use when we're out here. Thank you.
The odds of having a cell signal while we're boondocking is not in our favor, so I appreciate you sharing your tips with us, Scott. Scott and Ariane have a video that shows you how to get RV boondocking on the cheap, and you know where that video can be found. Dave and Carrie from One AdVanture at a Time share an RV boondocking item that I'd love to have, especially when boondocking in the winter.
Hi, I'm Dave.
I'm Carrie. We are One AdVanture at a Time, and we live full-time in our self-converted ProMaster van. Now, we had just started our 3rd year, and our thing is boondocking, right?
Yeah, we've only paid for camping about 4 or 5 times in that amount of time. We like to pre-camp.
Yes. So if we had a #1 boondocking essential item, yes we do.
It's pretty easy.
It's pretty easy. And that is our composting toilet. Yep.
This offers us plenty of flexibility and comfort along the way.
It absolutely does. Now we have the Nature's Head composting toilet, and whether you go that route or you do the Sea Head or you build your own composting toilet, highly valuable that you have that in your build.
Absolutely.
So we've gone to beaches. We're in Texas right now on South Padre Island.
So beaches are wide open. There's no toilet facilities anywhere in sight. There's lots of people around. The only privacy is inside our van.
Yes. Cold regions. We spent a lot of time in Idaho this fall.
There's snow on the ground, or the ground's frozen. The middle of the night is 9 below zero.
Yes.
We've been very comfortable inside.
Yes, we've been in Arizona in rainstorms, and the last thing you want to do in the middle of the night is get dressed, go outside to do your business and get all wet, or use a pee bottle and all that comes with it. We can go anywhere we want. When we're traveling, we can stay at Cracker Barrels, we can stay at Harvest Host, we can stay at Walmart parking lot.
Yeah, it's not a big focus for us. We don't have to worry about, where the closest bathroom is or where we can stay, because we have a lot more options.
But in non-COVID years, we love to do gatherings and van meetups and schoolie-palooza.
Yeah, just areas where there is no other privacy.
Yeah, you're in a group of people, there's maybe 50, 100, 200 people around, and you don't want to be traipsing through the desert with your shovel.
Yep.
hoping you can find a bush where nobody can see you. We absolutely love our composting toilet.
Absolutely. Totally recommend it.
Yes. Thank you for asking us and including us in this video. We hope this gave you a little bit of insight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
A composting toilet is a very practical RV boondocking item, especially in cold temperatures. So when your RVs winterize, you don't have to go without a usable toilet. Carrie and Dave also have a video where they show you how they dump and keep their composting toilet clean. And you can find this link. Next, Dwayne from RV Inspection and Repairs shares his #1 boondocking tip.
Hi Randy, and thanks for having me on your channel. One of the best tips that I can offer for boondocking is for those that have bigger rigs. You know, when you have a smaller rig like a smaller travel trailer or maybe a Class B motorhome, well, you can go just about anywhere for boondocking. They're very flexible. But when you have a bigger rig, like for instance a larger fifth wheel or maybe even a diesel pusher motorhome, well, it's not quite so easy to find spots where you can fit in or where you can access easily and safely. So, you know, these particular rigs do often have battery banks that are very good for boondocking, and that brings the question then, how do you find boondocking spots for bigger rigs? My suggestion is try Boondockers Welcome. It's really a service that connects RVers that are on the go, on the road, with other RVers that are happy to offer their home or their property to traveling RVers coming through the area, and they allow you to stay there. Now, you can often stay one night, 2 nights, maybe in many cases up to 5 nights. They allow you to stay there, essentially at no cost, and you're boondocking right there on their property. Now, we have used Boondockers Welcome this past year. Here's one of the examples of the place we were able to stay. This place was nicer than many of the campgrounds that we have stayed at, and we were able to be right in among a nice grove of pine trees there. We really enjoyed our stay. But let me emphasize, there are plenty of places across the country where bigger rigs are able to find a spot to stay and enjoy it. So all you have to do is sign up for it and take advantage of it. In fact, we figure that if you stay just a couple of stays with Boondockers Welcome, you've pretty much paid for your membership there. So my advice to all those who have big rigs is go sign up for Boondockers Welcome. Well, that's it for now. I hope what I've showed you has been beneficial, and I hope you have safe and happy travels in your boondocking adventures.
It sure has been beneficial, Dwayne. The more boondocking locations we have access to, the better. And I think any size RV owner could benefit from this service. Dwayne has a video where he shares more of his experiences with Boondockers Welcome, and you know where to find it. Up next is another freshwater system from Chris at Call to Wonder.
Hey guys, it's Chris here with Call to Wander, and today I'm going to talk to you about our most important boondocking essential, and that is yours as well, which is water. Just to give you some background, we don't drink out of our water holding tank. If you do, you probably don't need this whole system. But for us, we like to have fresh water constantly available to us, and we also like to be able to boondock for extended periods of time, sometimes 2 weeks, usually a week or so. So having drinking water is super important for us. So I'll show you, you're probably familiar with some of these containers. Obviously, the old 5-gallon container, pretty standard. You've probably also seen the cube. There's the Scepter version, 5-gallon container. There's this guy, which holds 2 gallons of water. And then lastly is what we use on a regular basis, on a daily basis, which is our Nalgene containers. We absolutely love Nalgene. So for us, we will use a combination of these containers when we're getting ready to boondock and while we're actually out boondocking. And so to walk you through how that will work, it always starts with this container, and it almost always starts with a Walmart or some other similar store where you can refill these for less than $1. Or right around $1. So we'll fill up the 5-gallon container, and then we will transfer this water into one of our freshwater holding containers. And we use a really awesome tool for that, which is our super jiggler. This is a glorified siphon. It's got a little marble inside. You can hear it rattle. Well, what we'll do is we'll actually stick this in and we'll jiggle it, and then the water will begin to start flowing from one container to the next. Our system for boondocking involves us having multiple 5-gallon containers of drinking water. Again, we always have our holding water in our holding tank, but we don't use that except to cook or to shower with or wash dishes. And so having lots of fresh water for drinking is important. Sometimes we'll fill this up with drinking water. Other times it'll be water that we use outside for our outdoor kitchen, or for washing our feet if we're at the beach, or for the dogs drinking water. So this may just end up with regular hose water, but the rest of these are going to be filled with drinking water. So now I'll show you how the jiggler works for us.
It's great to learn about the different water systems that people use when boondocking, because we can't boondock or dry camp if we don't have drinkable water. Chris and Lindsay have a video where they share 20 more dry camping tips, and it's going to be located right down there. Drum roll, please. Up next is the most innovative boondocking hack from Pat at Everything RV by Pat.
Hi, I'm Pat from Everything RV by Pat. I want to say thank you, Randi, for having me on your channel. I love your channel. Keep the great videos coming. My boondocking essential is not necessarily for me, but more so for my wife. We have something called the Tailgate Toilet seat. It's not something you can buy. I made it myself. Here's what it looks like. We're out here in the Nevada desert, and this is my essential tool. It's called the Tailgate Toilet seat. I made it myself. This and a bucket, and you're good to go. Simply put, it's a used toilet seat screwed onto a receiver hitch style post. Guys, I don't think it gets much more redneck than this, but there it is. Turn it over. What I did is I took a piece of angle iron, cut it in a U shape, welded a piece of box, drilled a hole, 2-inch box, fits into the receiver, and then just to make it more my style, I put a reflector on the end of it. Now when I put it on the truck and drive down the road, if you get too close to me, you get a little reflector. And in all seriousness, if we are out in the middle of nowhere and my wife needs to tinkle, well, she can just sit and tinkle on the back end of the truck. So there you have it, the Tailgate Toilet seat. Great for a guy, great for a gal. Started off as a joke, but it's very functional. I'm Pat from Everything RV. Back to you, Randi.
But sadly, Pat doesn't have a video about his tailgate toilet. Oh no! Maybe we can convince him to make one. But if you've ever wondered how to add a 12-volt and a USB outlet to your control panel, Pat's your guy. And this link will be... People typically think of RV, boondocking, and dry camping as being in very remote locations, which is epic. But as Dwayne mentioned, there are also alternative resources to find great boondocking locations as well. And I shared 2 of my favorites with you in a video that I'm gonna put right up here. And if you don't see the video here, you know where to find it. So I'll see you over there in that video next.